on our mats and just have a seated position, an easy seated position. And connecting over Zoom has its challenges, and practicing yoga too. So I thought it would be nice to maybe just read some very simple lines from the Yoga Sutras, which is kind of where it all began, or I don't know. So a lot of it began. And a few nice lines, really, perhaps when you're feeling a bit claustrophobic. The practice of yoga is the commitment to become established in the state of freedom. The practice of yoga will be firmly rooted when it is maintained consistently and with dedication over a long period. So this is about patience, right? Freedom is that triumphant state of consciousness that is beyond the influence of desire. The mind ceases to thirst for anything it has seen or heard of, even what is promised in the scriptures. And supreme freedom is that complete liberation from the world of change that comes of knowing the unbounded self. So in these times of change, what's really wonderful when you read these words is the reminder that there are certain things within us that don't change. And I'm not talking about having a fixed mindset here. It's not about what we think. We are not our thoughts. It's that there is a perceiver, there is a being, there is something constant within us. And it doesn't have feelings because they come and go. And it doesn't have opinions because they come and go as well. And that's very scary for some of us. But let's strip it right back. So let's just take a few moments to let everything that preoccupies us drop from our minds. So when you're seated on the floor, just make sure that your shoulders are heavy down towards the ground. We'll come to the spine in a moment. Just relax the face. Perhaps smile, soften the jaw, release the smile, and feel the lips, the cheeks, the tongue relax. Soften the gaze, perhaps close the eyes, and then start to think about the spine. So draw your head just a little bit higher towards the ceiling or the sky. Your neck becomes longer. Your shoulders drop further away from your ears. And then you start just to breathe a little deeper into the belly. So don't think about holding your belly in just yet. Let the belly round as you fill it with breath. Can you feel the breath in the back body, in the upper back? As you draw the breath up towards you, so if you think about drawing up from the earth, through the nose and up your back, can you feel your back expand? Let's emphasize that a little bit. Interlace the fingers and inhale, round the back and chuck the chin down towards the chest. Exhale. Turn your fingers in the opposite direction so that if you're pushing your fingers away from you, turn them towards you. And then inhale, look up and lift the arms up above the head. So I reverse my fingertips up to the sky, gives a nice stretch through the hands and the wrists. Let the shoulders drop, draw the navel in. Good. And then exhale, round down. So the chin to the chest, the arms come forward and your upper spine is really rounded. Inhale, lift up, move with the breath now. Start to generate the heat. Exhale, round down. One more time. Inhale, reverse the fingers, push them up to the ceiling. Let the shoulders draw away. Exhale, turn the fingers back towards you, round through the upper back. Now inhale here, keep the arms there and see if you can broaden through the shoulder blades. Exhale, push the arms away from you. Inhale, broaden through the shoulder blades. Find that space in the upper back. And exhale, release the palms, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Let's get into the waist a little bit. So spread the left arm away from you. Inhale, the right arm up over the head. Take the gaze to the armpits or the fingertips. Inhale, heavy through that right sit bone. Exhale. Now, if you'd like to do a couple of swooping circles here to get some range of movement going in the joints, think about drawing a nice circle that was sort of eclipse over the top of you. Lovely. One way and then the other. Good. Really nice. Draw your right hand over your left ear and then your head tilts towards your right shoulder. Extend the left hand out. How's your neck and shoulder doing? Holding so much tension. If you feel it, acknowledge it. Don't start to think about where it comes from too much, but just be kind towards it, curious perhaps about how it feels. You may want to slightly roll your shoulder here and feel how that helps you ease into this next stretch. So if you're rolling front, then reverse the direction of the shoulder rolls. Lovely. Bring your head upright and then drop your right hand down your back. See if you can then catch hold of it with your left arm behind your back. So you're gripping on like this to your hands. But if you can't hold your hands, you hold your t-shirt and then work that right shoulder back. So you feel open in the front chest. Inhale. Exhale, nice, feel nice and tall. So your hands are pushing your thoracic spine, that's where our bra straps sit, your thoracic spine forwards. And you feel open and lifted in that area of the chest. Then your navel has to engage to draw up from the lower part of your spine. So a slight rocking forwards on your sit bones to lift out the hips. Great. Let's draw the arms down, inhale up. Exhale down through the middle, twice more. You know this one, you can do this. Let yourselves relax into the movement and the breath. Exhale through the center. Inhale. Exhale through the center. So then we're going to inhale and draw the left arm up now and come into the reverse of that stretch. So we draw the left elbow away from you now towards the back of the space. Whether you're holding your other hand, your right hand or your t-shirt, see if you can get that sense of lift in the chest. Draw the chin slightly in so that you elongate the back of the neck. And the whole spine here is upright, it's supported, and your breath can flow freely through the apparatus it needs. Lovely. See if you can, if you're holding any tension in your knees, if they drop a little bit when you take your focus to relaxing through the knees. So your hips may be holding some tension there. And you can extend now the left arm down and take the right, the right arm down, take the left arm over the right ear, and your head drops to the opposite side this time. Wow. Let's roll the shoulder to there. Just get a bit of motion. Don't get stuck with any of these feelings. We're here to shift the tension through gentle, kind, curious movement. Rolling forwards and then backwards, or backwards and then forwards. Just make sure you're doing both directions. Oh, lovely. And then we're going to extend that right arm over and take that nice stretch. So here we're breathing into the intercostal muscles, increasing our lung capacity. Heavy through the left hip, and if you'd like to take a nice few turns with the arms, think about the movement through the air as if it's through water. So you're pushing something away, and that sense of resistance will increase increase your range. It will increase your stretch. Lovely. Oh, it's so good to move. Great. One last one sitting down. So we're going to now interlace the fingers behind the back and draw the fists down towards the earth as we lift up through the chest. And you can take your gaze to where the ceiling and the wall meets. So you draw your shoulder blades together. How's your breath doing? Can you make your exhalations slightly longer than your inhalations? So that triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, overriding your stress responses. A really nice practice if you're feeling it's all stressed and you haven't got time to get on the mat. Lovely. So that nice open chest. Great. Let's now come along into the length of our mat. And you can come into plank pose straight away if you're feeling ready, or if you prefer to have your knees dropped, by all means, please do so. So if you're in plank, you're going to have your bum is just like it's quite low, otherwise that's more like downward facing dog. Make sure the eyes of the elbows are facing each other. And we're all just going to start to rock backwards and forwards. So if you think about your belly button having a pencil dangling beneath it, you can think about drawing a line on your mat. So you're rocking through your toes and you're getting a little bit of range of motion through the wrists and the shoulders. So if you're on all fours, it's going to look quite similar. You're just dropping down towards your hips and coming a little bit further forward. Keep your elbows tucked in tight towards the side, and you'll feel how that supports you as you go through the range of motion. Lovely. Now everyone join us in plank. We're going to hold it here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees, the chest and the chin so you're lying down. So the hips are also on the floor. And spread your arms out to the sides, level with your shoulders. Bring your left palm in towards your chest and then roll. Pick up your left knee at the same time and set your foot to the outer edge of your right leg. So it's sitting behind your leg that's stretched on the floor. Do you feel it in your shoulder? That's what we're going for. So if you lean back towards your outstretched arm, the more intense the stretch you're going to get on your shoulder there. Now you can hold it here if you like to focus simply on that shoulder stretch. If you want a little bit more, you can lift up your left leg and take a hold of the top side of your left foot and take a nice stretch through the quadriceps there as well. So you rest your the right side of the head on the mat. Quite a lot of instructions taken there. To give yourselves a bit of a chance for stability here, just check if you're in a straight line on your side. So if your shoulders and your hips are in line, and then flex your right toes so that your right leg is slightly activated, and that will provide a stronger and firmer base for you. So if you're happy here, you're enjoying the shoulder stretch, you could also try, so if you place your left palm down now, you could also try and get a bit of range of motion into the hip by circling the knee up and around. Careful as you go, one way and then the other. It's quite an intense stretch there for the shoulder. Make sure you don't lose your balance and go too deep and snap down into that too much. Okay, lovely. So we're now going to press up off the mat with the left palm in front of us. Lay your right hand down so it's facing forwards, and we're going to stretch into this left leg. So I'm going to show you can stretch up like this, or you take your grip wherever is appropriate for you. So you can hold yourself at the thigh. Try and keep this left leg, which is your rising up, kicking through the heel. So your toes draw towards you and you get a nice stretch down the back seam of the leg. Then take your attention down to that extended right leg. Are your right toes drawing towards you? So flex that foot as well. And then push up out of the earth. Fantastic. Really nice. So let that left leg cross over the top of your right leg. Now it's coming out in front of you, and then keep that active drawing of the toes towards you. You're flexing the toes towards you. Bring your focus now to the right hand and come up onto the right hand. You want to twist in your forearms. So when you're coming up, you may want to check that you've got the bicep turning inwards and the lower arm slightly turning outwards. So that creates a twist in the two bones in the lower arm, which is better for distributing your weight. So now we're going to push up off the mat, lift the hips, and come into a variation of side plank. So you're on the outer edge of your right foot, and your left foot can be planted on the floor. So that should give you a nice sense of stability through the legs. Press through the legs, press through the arm. If you want to, you can stretch the left arm away from you. And if you want to go a little bit further, place the left leg on top of the right, hold it there. If you want to come down, you just bend that right knee, keep the left leg stretched out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then come back onto plank. All right, everyone, let's lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So stretch it out. That's quite heavy on your shoulders there. And then again, in your downward facing dog, come into a few rocking motions. So you're easing through all those supportive joints, the wrists, the toes, the heels, the hamstrings, the shoulders. See what happens when you let the navel be really floppy as you come forward. Ugh. You kind of get that sense of as you come down, you know, you feel a bit more like upward facing dog. Can you perhaps practice a transition like that? So you're rolling forwards, you roll over your toes, let the belly sink down, and then lift back out a bit. So whatever you're practicing here, be mindful that this is going to feed into your flow. Come to plank and lower down onto your tummy, and we're going to repeat that little sequence on the opposite side. So I just need to swivel around so that you can still see me. So this time we're going to roll over and pick up the right foot, place the right foot behind the left. So the left leg is extended and active. You pull your left toes towards you. I'm leaning back into my left shoulder. Let your left ear come down to the ground. So this might be enough for you as you ease back. You move your body weight slightly over that shoulder and feel it release. If you want a little bit more, you catch the top of the right foot, draw the right knee towards the left. And if you remember this from your gym classes, great quadricep stretch. Why not add it in? All right, if you haven't done this before, can help to slightly lift the elbow, draw the shoulder back, draw the shoulder blades together, and then draw the knees together. So you're getting a nice opening in the front of the chest, the shoulders stretching the quadricep, and all the while your left leg is active. Ah, lovely. So you're nice and supported by the mat here. Enjoy that support because you know we're going to move away from it bit by bit. First of all, let's come up onto the forearm, the left forearm. Inhale, draw your right knee towards you, and then just see how you go and extending it up and away towards the ceiling. So the heel, do you see, is shooting upwards to the sky, the toes draw down, and you get a nice long opening in the backs of the legs. Great. I think Posh Slice made this into a thing with a name, but I'm not sure what it is. It's a stretch. That's what it is. Lovely. Posh Slice, Victoria Beckham. Then let that right leg fall down, cross over the left leg in front of you, and you're going to come up onto this left arm. So once again, think about your bicep, you're rolling in and your lower arm rolling out. Come onto the sides of the feet, push through the right hand if you like. Inhale, draw up. So think about that inner waist drawing up to the ceiling, lift out of the hand. Inhale. Exhale. If you like, you can come into side plank. And if you want to, don't forget, you can drop your left knee down, keep the right leg extended. And you can, I think it's nice then if you do let the right arm come over the ear, so you can get more of a stretch along the side of the body. It does a little bit more, but wherever you are, you just enjoy. 3, 2, 1. With control, can you come back into plank? Lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Oh, is that nice? No, yes, I hope so. Do you feel freer than before? Inhale, so walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Draw your navel in as you lift up halfway. So think about, you'll want to go towards straight with the back here. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, perhaps palms to shins, palms to thighs, or fingertips to the floor. And then we're going to exhale down. Shake out your head. Maybe make a few sounds where you can push the air out. And then let your heaviness, gravity be an advantage to feel like you're opening and lengthening the back body. And then really kind of almost as slowly as you can, with your legs drawing together, I'd like you to roll up to standing, but really, really slowly. The head is the last piece of the puzzle to stack upright. So we're standing in Tadasana at the front of our mats. Inhale, look up, draw up. Exhale, fold forwards once again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right leg back, plant the right knee a little bit behind your hip. Okay, so it's not in that L shape that we do sometimes. And then again, I just want you to think about drawing your hip backwards and forwards, and the range of motion that you have through the knees and the hips here, the ankles, everything that's involved with this movement of moving forwards and back. Lovely. Then come to rest quite far forward so you feel a stretch through the hip flexor. Good job. Let the right hand come down to the mat and inhale, draw the left arm up to the sky. Come back to your right hand. Is your right arm straight? Look up to your left fingers. If you want a bit more, you can tuck the toes of the right leg and lift through the knee. Wherever you are with that right leg, I'd like you to bring a few swoops and circles into the left arm. Great. One way and then the other. Feel the space. Take up the space. Be definite in here. Then I'd like you to swirl your right leg so that it's flat on the floor and in line with the heel of the instep of the back leg is in line with the heel of the front leg. So we're going to build up into triangle from the mat. Now take whichever grip you usually take for the triangle. It could be yogi toe grip over the big toe. It could be on the ankle, on the shin, or even on the thigh. With the right hand, I'd like you to think about drawing the right hip up and open, and then blossom up. Let that right arm reach up to the sky. Take your focus to the front leg. Is it straight? Is the knee drawing upright? And the back leg is the outer edge of the back foot pressing into the ground. Lovely. A few more breaths here. Take your gaze down, then through the front knee, and inhale, draw up into warrior two. So you may want to lengthen your stance so that with your front knee can have a 90-degree bend in it. Take your focus to the back, just check that the arms are level with the mat. Lovely. Reach forwards, look over to the horizon, outside of the back foot, pressing into the mat. Draw your seat bones together. Feel the openness through the hips that creates. Good. Then come up. so that you have your toes pointing towards the front. Both legs are nice and straight. Good. Let's float the hands to the hips. So the easier, the wider. So the wider your legs, the easier these forward folds become, because then the ground gets closer. So have a consciousness about the width of your stance. I won't ask you to change it, just see how it is. So palms to waist. Inhale, see if you can feel your upper body lift out of the waist. So my thumbs are behind my hips, and as I fold forwards, I'm going to use my thumbs to accentuate the tilting forward of the pelvis. Come first of all so that your back is level to the floor, and then come a little bit further still. Take the palms down to the ground, relax the head, shake it out. Maybe draw a few circles with the nose one way and then the other. Place your right palm in the center and inhale, draw up, look up. So you're getting a little twist here. And then exhale, reverse. We're going to try something a little bit new before we go into the other side. So we're going to walk the feet together. Bend the knees so that your palms are on the ground, and then walk your palms underneath your legs if you can. So you need to really draw your navel up and out the way. Stick your bums down. Now what I'd like us to work towards is drawing the feet closer in than the arms. The arms come behind us. We bend through the arms and eventually we lift up onto the arms, okay? But that's eventually. So first of all, I just want you to feel like you're going somewhere with this movement where your arms come underneath your legs and behind you. If you can do that, and you try now to place your palms down on the mat, have your fingertips pointing forward. That's going to create that twist I mentioned earlier in the lower arms. So your knees are wrapped around your upper arms. Can you let a little bit more weight come out of your feet and into your bottoms? So essentially into your hands. Lean a little bit further back, and can you lift one toe off the ground and then another toe off the ground? We look like spiders a bit. If you want to try and lift both toes off the ground and stick them out, you can. If you don't want to stick the toes out, see if you can keep them just in towards each other. Ah, lovely. Okay. Let's release from that and just come down into a squat. Good. Palms together, lengthen the spine. Really nice, everyone. Okay. Walk the feet a little bit wider. Come again into a forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. This time, reach for the outside edge of your ankles. Look through the legs. Press on the outer edges of the feet. Draw the shoulders towards the waist, away from the ears. Relax the jaw. Bring the palms underneath you, soften through the knees. Float the palms up to the waist, inhale, come up to standing. Point the opposite toe to the front of the mat, to the short edge of the mat, and come into warrior two on the opposite side. Good. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, lengthen through the torso, check the arms. Lift the toes, make sure you haven't got too much grip through the feet. And look over the horizon. Nice, smooth with the breath. Now lower the hands, and you may want to step your back foot a little bit closer as you straighten the front leg and come down with the hand towards the front foot and come up into triangle on the opposite side. Remember, try and draw that hip backwards. Take the gaze up if your neck is comfortable with that, otherwise look down. Keep drawing up with your waist from the underside, so you lift your torso away from the earth, even though you're reaching down towards it with your hand. Such a beautiful arrangement, so much command over where you are in the space. Front leg nice and straight, good, lovely. Let's exhale and draw the palms now either side of the front foot and lower the back knee. So come once again into this nice oiling movement where you move the hips forwards and backwards. Maybe even lift the front toe up off the mat. And then come to settle with the hips leaning forward so you get the sense of that same stretch. Let the left palm, I hope you're on the same side as me, but it might be that you're on the opposite side. So let the opposite hand to foot come and rest just inside of the front foot. And inhale, draw the right arm up to the ceiling. Once again, if you like, you can come up off the back knee and then begin to circle the arm through the space. And I hope you've got the space. If you don't have as much space as you'd like, you can take your hand to your shoulder and move the elbow in the space. See if you can still encourage that sense of growth, stretch and reach. Lovely. Take the gaze down and then we'll step back into downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. This time, walk your palms towards your feet so that you come towards the back of the mat. Again, roll up gently. Now you want to have yourself so that you're facing your screen straight on. So if that means changing your position now, please do. We're going to practice eagle pose, which is about opening through the back and compressing through the digestive system, and it's about your equilibrium too, so there's a lot going on. First of all, I would like you to take a nice deep inhale and feel the length in your body. So really breathe in from the ground, you're nice and sturdy, the navel draws in, and then you exhale and come down into a chair-like pose. So you can stick your bottoms out for now. Just check that your knees are not further over than your toes. And then we're going to inhale and draw the left leg up and wrap it once over the right leg. And if you can, you wrap it twice. Can you now just pause for a second and take your gaze down to your left knee? If your left knee is tracking over your second toe, you're doing really well. That's going to really support your knee. If it's not, you may need to move your hips slightly onto the diagonal. Okay. Focus now back to the upper body. It's very tempting to lean forwards, and we might go there in a second. See if you can draw your upper body up. Inhale, draw your arms up. Exhale, allow your arms to cross so the right arm comes over the left, and then your fingertips draw upwards towards the ceiling, wrap once and twice, then sit down a little further. So to get that extra sense of challenge, see how far upright you can draw your upper body as you sit down into that imaginary bar stool. Come to your breath. If you want a little bit more, fold over your legs. Let's all meet upright. Ooh. Unwrap the legs, draw them nice and wide, and then bend the knees and let the arms stretch outwards. Take up a lot of space after that compression. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale, lovely. Inhale, the legs straight, heel toe back or jump back together. And then we practice this on the other side. Just give yourself a little bit of a smack through the legs if you feel like you need to get the blood circulation moving one more time. So inhale, sit down into your chair. This time, lift up the right knee. Wrap it once and twice over the standing leg. Pause. Can you now check that your knee is over your second toe? Protect those knees, please. Sit down into your chair. Keep the spine lifted. Inhale, draw the arms up, and then exhale. This time cross the left arm over the right. So it's opposite arm on top from leg. Draw the palms as you wrap them twice towards your nose. Lift the elbows, feel the openness in the back body. Sit a little deeper. Navel is working really hard to keep you upright. So where is your challenge today? Where is your comfort today? Where is your sense of steadiness today? And when you're ready, keep that navel strong. If you want to come down and enhance that sense of compression, fold over the legs. Lovely, everyone. Inhale, draw up, unwrap the legs. Come to a nice wide stance. Bend through the knees, sink the hips down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale them down. 2 more times. Once more. As the arms drop down, allow your torso to drop down in between your legs. Feel that nice openness in the hips, and then draw the heels forward. So your choice here, you can go into a regular squat, or you can practice what we did earlier. So walk the palms underneath you, behind you. So you're bending at the elbows, and you can sit back on the ledge of the arms. Fingertips point forward, let the weight of the hips sink down between the arms. You can come up onto the tiptoes, maybe lift 1 foot, maybe lift 2 feet. If you can lift both feet, see if you can cross your feet over and create a little latch like that. Yeah, really nice, everyone. So wherever you are, let's take 4 more breaths. And then we're going to let the hips sink right down towards the floor and let the legs spread out into a nice wide position. So you want to keep, as we had before, the legs active by drawing the toes up towards you. Extend the heels away and the knees are pointing right up to the ceiling. Inhale, nice and long in the front body, and then exhale, walk forwards. So think about walking your torso out of your pelvis. That's where the length in your spine is going to come. If you want to keep your gaze lifted, you'll keep that sense of straightening and lengthening in the spine. If you're ready to get a little bit inside, then you can just let your forehead roll down towards your chest, and you can close your eyes for a few moments. Walk yourselves back up and let the legs come together. Similar thing. Inhale, lift up out of the pelvis. Draw the toes towards you. Exhale, reach forwards. Your gaze is towards your toes. Long in the spine. Lift the chest away from your knees. Shine through the chest. Shine through the collarbones. Smile. And then exhale, round. So you can let yourself just relax here, your forehead to knee. Another couple of breaths. Really let your breath slow down now. And then walk your palms back upright. Bring your knees up to your chest and then allow yourselves to lean back onto the floor. So find the length of your mat and feel the comfort of it. So already, please, can you walk your shoulders away from your ears? Then lift your hips and flatten the lumbar spine, the lower spine, the tailbone against the mat by letting your hips lay a little bit further away from your shoulders. So just shuffle them down a little bit further. Do you feel that? And then let the knees fall left and right. So you windscreen wipe through the knees and you find some relaxation there, some release there in the hips. Lovely. Then let your knees fall either side and your feet come together. So if this is really kind of, if you're very tight in the hips and feels like you're holding onto a lot here, I recommend that you make a fist with your hands or even a flat palm and just pop them underneath your bottoms, and that extra lift will help take the strain of this openness here that we have in Supta Baddha Konasana. A really, really good posture for opening through the front body, relaxing through the breath. I'd like you to start to think with your tummies about how you're feeling right now. So we're not putting words on this, we are really tuning into how you feel. And once you've really found a sense of connection to this central area, the solar plexus, allow your focus to grow in whichever direction it's needed. So perhaps up towards the chest or down into the limbs or the pelvis or the root chakra, wherever you feel your attention is needed. Allow your mind's eye to go on this little adventure. And the breath is like this little magic spell, like fairy dust, okay? So you can just sprinkle it over these areas where you find tension or where your attention is taken. And it might be that you prefer right now to come into a regular Shavasana, so you can extend the legs away from you now. Remove the palms from underneath the buttocks. And find a place for your arms, so they could either be away from the body, which is quite a nice cooling position, or if you're keen to keep the heat, you can keep the arms closer to you, perhaps place a palm on the chest, on the belly, which is a nice way to draw focus again into the chest, into the breath. And this contemplation about what the sense of freedom is, if any, that you've cultivated during the session. And without trying to intellectualize the concept of freedom, can you feel it instead? How precious it is. How it mustn't be taken for granted or flaunted. And how essential it is to feel really ourselves and to function at our best. And perhaps there's other people's freedom that comes to mind. And how our thoughts and our words and our actions may contribute to that. Relax your jaw and the tongue inside the mouth. Let your eyes be soft even if your lids are lowered. See if you can feel the temperature on the cheeks, on your skin, on the forehead. How soft is your throat? Thank yourselves for coming to the practice. And ready yourselves to come out of Shavasana with a little bit of movement. Perhaps you want to stretch long on your mat. Let your arms come up over your head. Point the toes away from you. Maybe you want to take a last little left and right windscreen wipe with the knees. Perhaps you prefer simply to draw your knees into your chest and hold yourself close. However you come out, do it in the way that feels right for you. Freedom on the mat is easy. You just do what feels good for you. Breathe into the movement. So as you come up from the floor, think about building up with strong foundations. Come up slowly. Let your head be soft and your neck be soft. Let your gaze be soft. Thank you so much for joining this week. Hopefully see you again soon. So wonderful to practice together. Namaste.
Thank you.
Welcome.